Welcome, rational thinkers and champions of evidence-based reasoning, to the Free of Faith podcast. This is the place where we dare to peel back the comforting but opaque layers of faith-based claims and expose their logical shortcomings. Today, we're diving deep into a question that has profound real-world consequences. Does the Bible support rational belief, or does it actively oppose it? We're not just throwing shade at Scripture for sport. We're examining whether the kind of belief the Bible promotes actually lines up with the standards of intellectual responsibility. Is biblical belief compatible with the principle that belief should rise and fall in proportion to evidence? Here's the thing: rationality isn't a vague vibe. It's a method. And belief, when practiced rationally, is a discipline of proportion, not passion. Let's get into what rational belief really demands. In a rational framework, the strength of your belief should match the strength of the available evidence. If the data suggests something is 70% likely to be true, then your confidence should hover around that 70%, not 30 or 100%. Rational belief isn't black and white, it's a gradient. It's fluid. It updates itself. If new evidence rolls in, your belief should shift accordingly. You don't cling to old conclusions like they're sacred. You instead refine your position. Your beliefs are evidence responsive. This is what it means to be rational. Contrast that with biblical faith. In Scripture, belief is almost always presented as binary. You're in or you're out. You believe or you don't. There's very little room for gradation, for scaling belief up or down as the evidentiary landscape changes. And doubt? It's most often treated as a weakness in character. This highlights the fundamental clash. Rational belief is evidence-sensitive, while biblical belief is faith-driven. Christians are encouraged to maintain full certainty, regardless of where the evidence is. Imagine belief as a thermostat. Rational belief adjusts in response to the evidence, just as a good thermostat reacts to the ambient temperature. But for biblical belief, the thermostat is often full blast or completely shut off. No matter what the evidence says, the setting stays the same. Let's now look at how irrational binary belief shows up in the real world. A desperate patient embraces a pseudo-scientific cure with zero data to back it up. An investor bets everything on a stock despite glaring red flags. A conspiracy theorist clings to their worldview while ignoring mountains of counter-evidence. Someone insists their partner will change, even after a dozen failed promises. These aren't just poor judgments. They're what happens when belief detaches from evidence. Now, let's talk theology. Some Christian leaders believe that faith must be complete and unwavering to be redemptive. Others say a mustard seed of faith suffices. A recent survey reveals even pastors can't agree. That inconsistency isn't trivial. It shows that even among experts, biblical faith lacks clear epistemic standards. If the faith required for salvation ranges from microscopic to absolute, then what exactly are believers being asked to commit to? The core of the problem is static belief. When your confidence in a claim stays the same, no matter what new evidence appears, you're operating irrationally. Rationality demands that a belief be revised as the balance of confirming and disconfirming data shifts. But faith tells you to dig in your heels and treat the absence of evidence as a test of your resolve, rather than a signal to adjust your degree of belief. Let's systematically walk through this. A rational belief system starts by requiring that your level of confidence in an idea matches the strength of the evidence you have for it. This is proportionate belief. If someone holds a belief with more confidence than the evidence justifies, such as 90% certainty in the context of 20% evidence, that belief is irrational. Such irrational and misguided beliefs, unsurprisingly, lead to misguided actions. Insufficiently evidenced beliefs lead to flawed perceptions. and flawed perceptions likely result in bad decisions. Nearly every human has a deep need for certainty. It feels good. Certainty comforts us, especially in uncertain times. But that craving for certainty often pushes us into beliefs that the evidence doesn't support. Add in the social dynamics, where our friends, family, and communities reinforce these beliefs, and suddenly you've echo chambers that elevate confidence without elevating evidence. Rational belief demands a standard much higher than a feeling of certainty. You might hear theologians push back with arguments such as the following.
Faith is a different kind of knowledge.
Certainty gives spiritual strength.
Faith is rational trust in a divine authority.
Evidence isn't enough. True belief requires commitment.
Faith transforms lives in ways evidence can't.
However, if faith is another kind of knowledge, but can't be justified or tested, it's not knowledge. It's a belief that bypasses the very checks that make beliefs reliable. If certainty brings comfort, that doesn't make it true. It just makes it emotionally satisfying. If you wouldn't trust a human authority without credentials, why would you extend unverified trust to an unsubstantiated divinity? And yes, commitment matters, but commitment without evidence is indistinguishable from gullibility. Transformation is good, but transformation based on false premises doesn't make the premises true. The placebo effect doesn't validate the sugar pill. The bottom line? Belief that does not map to the evidence is illegitimately commandeering emotions. It may feel powerful, but it's intrinsically unstable. A leap of faith may sound poetic, but it inevitably crashes into the hard wall of reality. Belief without evidence is like steering a ship without a compass. Sure, you might reach land, but only by accident. Rational belief offers something far better. Intellectual integrity, evidence-responsive judgment, and decision-making that actually maps to our reality. That's not just good epistemology. It's the demonstrably best way to align ourselves with reality and maximize life's successes. If this conversation has sparked some questions or even some discomfort, that's a good thing. Questioning is the first step toward clarity. Don't settle for easy answers or platitudes. Dive deeper, explore further, and demand evidence. Head over to Free of Faith to read the full article and join the discussion. Let's keep this conversation going, because the pursuit of truth doesn't stop at questioning. It's about finding answers that actually make sense. Thank you for tuning in to the Free of Faith podcast, where we expose the logical failings of faith and celebrate the clarity that comes with reason. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay curious, and remember, rationality always outperforms faith. Engage reality, and I'll see you soon.